Balake. Where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Blake? What? Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Aaron.
Aaron is back, everyone. Welcome back for more SPTV, where every day is a great day. Not to be in a cult. I decided just to go live last minute, short notice, no notice, Tuesday night live, hangout, chat, and Q&A, honestly, because I just feel so bad. I feel like I've been neglecting my YouTube audience for like the last 2 or 3 weeks. I feel like I'm barely doing one video a day. And especially for the last week or so, I feel like it's been close to 0. Like, has it been less than 3 a week? At first, the difficulty that I was running into is that the Friday night 3-hour plus long protest live streams would leave me completely exhausted for the weekend. And doing videos every day requires a certain amount of inertia. It takes inertia. It takes a lot of get up and go to sit down and do videos. And I know it looks easy. And I know compared to, being a roofer or a chimney guy, this is easy work. But I'm just saying it requires a certain amount of energy and gusto and inspiration. And it's easy to keep that train going when you're doing it every single day. I mean, you guys remember, guys, I used to do it 2 or 3 or 4 times a day. But when you get in the habit of not doing videos for 2 or 3 days a week, it feels really good to not do videos. And I'm thankful that, this is basically my job and this is how I'm able to make money and I'm able to do this full time. But I don't mind saying that when you get used to not doing videos, it's hard to get up and do videos. And so the inertia works both ways. If I'm really in the zone and I'm hitting it hard every day, it's easy to keep doing that every day. But when I start to slow down, or God forbid, when I stop for a while, it's really hard to get going again. Okay, so that's what was going on at first. And then what happened is, I don't know, how long has it been now? I've basically been focusing on TikTok, which sounds like such a weird thing for a 44-year-old man to say, because I think of TikTok as being for like, kids doing their little dance videos. But TikTok is actually a serious platform now. It really is quite a serious platform. And the Scientology opportunity on TikTok is really, really huge. And I don't know if you guys like when I talk shop, some YouTube shop. I know a lot of you guys like it. I like talking YouTube shop. Let me see. Oh boy, I don't have George in here with me. Marilyn, if you are there, or Cheryl, I don't know if Cheryl, can you get in the back end of my StreamYard? If anyone can help me star comments, that would be great. Let me see. Let me say hi to the moderators since this is just a hangout chat video. Hey, Farrell Cheryl. I see you there, Cheryl. Hey, Arkansas Flamingo. And who else? Oh, those are the 2 mods in the chat. Let me say hi. Let me go back and say hi to channel members. Phoenix, a book girl. Welcome. Sierra, welcome. Excellent to see you. CO Bilf. Hello, as always. Always wonderful to see you in here. Susie Q. Hello. Andrea Malloy. Hello, Andrea. Okay. Blue Ridge Hiker. Okay. Kind People Rock. Kind People Rock. Hello, Kind People Rock. And Kathy O'Toole. Good to see you, Kathy. And Sharona. And Nurse Lori. And do I have any others I haven't said hi to yet? Ree's connecting. Good to see you. And okay. What the heck was I saying? Oh, yeah. Focusing on TikTok. Talking a little bit of shop. Here's what's interesting, guys. Here's what's interesting. You guys have probably noticed that. Well, remember when I started trying to do these videos with you guys as vertical live streams and everyone lost their minds because it looks ridiculous when you're watching it on TV and stuff like that? And you guys remember back in those days, I'd probably said something like, YouTube wants us to do it this way. Like they're literally telling us they want us to do it this way. And YouTube would basically reward vertical live streams. It seemed like a reward, but once you find out what it really is, it's not really not. It's not really a reward. With massive exposure, right? Because they're basically taking your live stream, which would normally be horizontal the way this one is. And because you're live streaming in vertical, they push your live stream out to the shorts feed. Now, the shorts feed is that thing that if you guys are like me, you just, when you're on your phone and you're watching YouTube, you end up getting into the shorts and you just scroll it for hours and hours on end. So what'll happen is if someone's scrolling through their shorts feed, they're eventually going to find your live stream. And that's how those vertical live streams get pushed out by YouTube to a massive new audience. And that's what's happening with the protest live streams. You'll see the protest live streams will get like 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 views. That's because YouTube is pushing it out to the shorts, the audience that's watching the shorts feed. And you also get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of new subscribers. What's interesting though, because look, a lot of people who are, full-time YouTube content creators, their videos make money. My videos make money. When you watch them, even if you have YouTube Premium, and so you don't watch commercials on YouTube, YouTube pays creators anyway. So like if you don't have Premium and you watch ads on videos, look, creators get paid for those ads, whether you click on, buy them or anything. It doesn't matter. YouTube pays creators for ads. So basically, YouTube wants to reward you with views and subscribers when you do your vertical live streams, but they haven't figured out how to monetize those streams. Like YouTube does not pay creators for vertical live streams. Like pennies, literally like single digit dollars. Like it's ridiculous. And so the reason why I'm talking about YouTube's monetization or lack thereof of vertical live streams is that one of the reasons YouTube wants creators to do that type of content is to compete with TikTok and to compete with Instagram Reels. And so, hey, Vanessa, good to see you. And so they want you to do that content, but they don't freaking pay you for it. But you know who does? TikTok. And they pay you pretty darn well. So okay, now, and again, I'm talking way too much shop, but guys, I just came on here tonight just to BS around with you guys. I got nothing important. I got no news to break. This is just a BS session with you guys. Which is why I really need someone helping me start comments, because I'm not keeping a very close eye on the live chat, but I want to interact with you guys. Okay. So I'm talking about two different things on YouTube. There's vertical live streaming, which, as you guys know, I could go for, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. That's a vertical live stream. That is not to be confused with a YouTube short. A YouTube short is in the same vertical format, but it's anywhere from 1 second to 3 minutes long. And I upload those as well. And those also can get good views. They can get good subscribers. You also make almost nothing on those. Absolutely nothing. I mean, literally, if I had a YouTube short that got 1 million views, maybe that would be $100. And that's happened maybe 2 or 3 times in the history of my channel. We're talking small numbers, right? The same video, any video over 60 seconds long on TikTok, they pay you for. Any video over 60 seconds long on TikTok, they pay you for. They don't pay you anything for videos under 60 seconds. Okay. George is here. Thank you, George, my savior. So that's why what you guys have been noticing recently is me doing videos specifically designed for TikTok, uploading them there, since that's where they're actually going to make money, and then just uploading them on YouTube as well, just for the heck of it. And you guys have noticed those videos are a lot different, aren't they? Those videos are not just excerpts of my live streams that I thought were interesting, or excerpts of not my live streams. Well, I guess every video I do is a live stream, but for a long time, my clips have just been excerpts from my live streams. I have never sat down and intentionally recorded and edited a short just for its own sake, or I've only done that a handful of times. And so, on TikTok, basically the strategy is 60 to 70 seconds, tell a story. Tell a story, make it impactful, to the punch, you got a point, boom, goes crazy on TikTok. My TikTok video is getting hundreds of thousands, sometimes 1 million views. And then I upload it here and it makes nothing and it gets 10,000 views. And so I've been spending so much of my time on TikTok to try to establish, get in a routine. Because that's the thing, guys. Remember what I said about inertia? Remember that inertia applies to each separate platform. Doing videos on YouTube is one thing. Doing videos on TikTok is another. And also, in order to get that inertia train, going on TikTok. I've also been doing live streams on TikTok. But guess what? It's not like YouTube, where on YouTube, if I do a live stream and it's done, then it stays there on my channel and you can come back and watch it tomorrow. On TikTok, when you finish the live stream, it's gone. It disappears. So like, well, what the heck is the point? What's the value? I don't know, guys. I haven't figured it out yet. I've just been told that you want to get in a habit, if you really want to maximize and capitalize, the opportunity and the audience on TikTok. Whatever you do, it's got to be consistent. You got to stick to it. It's got to be repetitive. It's got to be predictable, and you got to stick with it. So you guys know me. If I can do anything, it's sticking with it. So I've been doing TikTok uploads every single day. I have been doing TikTok live streams every single day, except I did not do the weekend. But that's why I got back to it today. And anyway, by the time I finished my TikTok live stream, I was like, I haven't been doing shit for my YouTube audience lately. That's what it feels like. I'm like, you know what? It's Tuesday night. Jump on, BS around. Let's talk to some folks. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what people are interested in. What do you guys want to know about? I'll tell you what's going on. If anybody, I see Jen is like, I'll start comments. It's okay. George jumped back there. He's going to help me, Jen. I appreciate it. Okay, what's going on? Many people are maybe wondering what's going on with my misdemeanor charge for getting some chalk powder. It's not even chalk powder, cornstarch powder on that Sea Org member the other day. No word from the state attorney's office. I got a lawyer. I got a much cheaper lawyer than the first lawyer that I was thinking I was going to get. By the time I hired the cheaper lawyer, I'd already raised enough money from the post I put up about the expensive lawyer to cover all the legal fees. So lawyer's taken care of. All that's fine. Even if we go to trial, everything's taken care of. I got to tell you, I'm of two minds on this. One, I would rather the charges got dropped and we didn't have to go to trial. Two, I would love to go to trial. Oh my God. Who here thinks a jury of my peers is going to unanimously find me guilty of a crime for being out there protesting Scientology every single week? The cult that I was raised in and trafficked in. And the moment I get some cornstarch on one of the people who's out there harassing protesters, a jury's going to find me guilty. I'm not so sure about that, folks. I'm willing to take them chances. And so is my lawyer. My lawyer's like, oh my God, I would love to get this in front of a jury. I'm like, you and me both. But could we also get him thrown out maybe? He's like, that's my job. I'm going to try to make sure these charges do not get brought. I go, I would appreciate that, you know? It's one of those things where if it gets thrown out, I'm happy. If it goes to trial, I'm also happy. But I'd rather, like, there's a certain amount of, I don't know, calmness and relief in just having something immediately thrown away and a non-issue. Needless to say, whatever lesson there is to be learned here, let's just say it's been learned, okay? We will not be having a repeat, accidental or otherwise, of any of the situations that resulted in me being arrested. Okay, so lesson learned. Yes, we are in no danger of a repeat situation. By the way, speaking of which, did you guys see our awesome giant 6 foot by 12 foot blue on white cult sign that Jen Kessler got that made at a company that she's friends with the person at the company, and very reasonably priced. And I'd say that makes us the winner of the water wars. We will no longer, Scientology will no longer be able to come out and just get rid of our cult sign, because now it's not made out of chalk. Now we have our awesome big giant 12-foot cult sign that we put right on the ground. It's like a vinyl. It's a roll-up vinyl. And we can chalk all around it. We can chalk below it. We can chalk to the side of it. And they can come out and mess with us. But what's the point? The big, giant cult sign will still be there anyway. I truly suspect that someone in the police department or the state attorney's office or whatever, I don't know how it all works, you guys. Someone told Scientology, hey, you keep this up, a protester is not going to be the only one getting arrested around here. Okay. I got to tell you, ever since that day, they have not so much as blinked in our direction. They have not tried to construct any plywood on the sidewalk. They have not tried to shoot off their water cannons to wet the sidewalk. They have not tried to send Sea Org members out with water while we are out there. Nothing. They did call the police this last Friday, and the police did come. They took one look at it, and they're like, you guys being good? And we're like, yeah, officer, any problems? He's like, doesn't look like any problems to me. You guys aren't blocking the sidewalk or anything? We're like, nope. He's like, it's just the normal chalk, right? No spray paint or nothing? We're like, nope. He's like, then my job here is done. We're like, you want some pizza? He's like, I wish I could. I'm on keto right now. Anyway, we're having more fun out there than ever. The last 2 weeks have been absolutely spectacular. Plus this last week, the weather was just fantastic. I mean, guys, I want to put out the word. I'm going to have to be, we got a moth. Where's my racket? I got to get that guy. Okay. For anyone who's ever been considering coming down and joining us for a Friday protest, I have to let you know the last Friday of September is going to be the biggest protest we've ever had down here in Clearwater. We got so many people coming in from out of town. I don't even know who I'm allowed to say and who I'm not allowed to say. I don't know who's talking about it. I don't know who's not talking about it. And you don't even have to be invited. Like, just come. There's going to be a heck of a lot of people in Clearwater the last Friday of September. Let me just, for the heck of it, pull up a calendar. It's the Friday before the 29th. So the 29th is a Sunday, right? Let me just pull it up, make sure. Yeah. Friday the 26th, guys. If you have ever, whether you live within driving distance, walking distance, flying distance, if you've like, you know what? I really want to get down there one of these weekends, then Friday the 26th is the day that you want to come. Let me check it one more time. Yeah, that's the 26th. It's going to be unbelievable, you guys. It's going to be an SP circus is what it's going to be. I mean, what's the last time when we had everyone down here? God, that's right. Okay. We did something similar to this just about exactly a year ago, right? And I remember specifically because Natalie was wearing a sandwich sign. I was going to ask myself, did we actually protest? Were we doing the protest back then? Heck yeah, we were doing the protest back then. Because I also remember we had sort of a big kind of a party. I mean, I guess I kind of referred to it as a meet and greet because there were so many like SPTV folks there that it was like a meet and greet, but really it was just a party. And so that's what I remember the most. I remember the big party. I remember our protest less well than I remember the party, but I do remember Natalie out there with a sandwich sign. Okay, so who said, okay, in the chat, how about this? Let's play a game. You guys tell me who has already said that they're coming. And if you're in the chat and you're going to be coming, then go ahead and mention that. Okay, Trisha says, will Jenna be there? Yes, Jenna will be there. Will Marilyn Honig be there? Yes, Marilyn Honig will be there. In the back office, give me a thumbs up or a thumb down on whether you've said anything publicly. Will George Massey be there? Yes, George Massey will be there. Will the other George LaBanca, Clearwater George, surrounded by Scientology, be there? Yes, George will be there. People keep asking me, why doesn't George go to the protest anymore? Because George doesn't have to come. Me and George hang out every day. George is still around, guys. Let me see. I'm going to look at the start comments here. Hold on. Arkansas Flamingo will be there. Vanessa Winbury will be there. Oh, I'm seeing some other stuff. Okay, I'm looking in the live chat. Oh, will Lori Plays is Lori Plays in the chat? Will Lori Plays make her return, her triumphant return to the protest? Lori, are you in the chat? Of course, I mean, all the regulars will be there, of course. You know what I'm saying? Gabrielle, you gotta come down. You gotta join us. Okay, actually, I just realized I'm gonna go back since I asked for help starring all the comments, and now I've ignored all of the starred comments. So let me go back and just tackle some of these comments so I don't like wait until later when they're totally not applicable anymore. This is a good one for me to address because I actually meant to do a TikTok about this today. DTXG money. I may have missed your response to it. Did you see the apparent escapee from the Los Angeles Center in Jessica Palmedessa's video? Do you have a reaction to it? So I actually meant to do a video about this today because I spoke to Jessica about it. I was like, what's going on up in this situation right here? That was actually Scientology trying to set Jessica up. Jessica sort of turned it back on them by editing the entire thing to make Scientology look really bad, like someone was trying to escape. But that was like Jessica's way of trolling them back. That guy climbing over that fence was working for Scientology. Those two other guys who were with him, he had just, and guys, I could always get the little details of this wrong. My recollection is that the other two guys is just someone that guy had recently met. They were basically trying to distract Jessica and draw her away from the test center. That guy was hired by Scientology to do that. And I'm gonna do a TikTok thing about it tomorrow. And of course, whatever I upload to TikTok, I'm gonna upload as a short to YouTube. But I gotta tell you, that was wild. The fact that he had Toucan on the phone, and it really was her. I forget what her real name is. On the phone. So I think Toucan was annoyed that guy was hanging on the fence. He wasn't supposed to be hanging on the fence like that. So she's like, get out of the parking lot. But you don't get Toucan's phone number unless you're working with her. And you'll notice, the guy had his brand new Scientology introductory IAS membership card. That was real. And then he's like, oh yeah, can we get far away from here? I don't feel safe. I mean, it was all just total BS. And they were actually there to harass Jessica. They were actually there to get her TikTok stream taken down. This is what you didn't see, because her stream did get taken down. And what they did is they had a cardboard poster with a whole bunch of curse words written on it. TikTok has like a zero tolerance policy on age inappropriate material for young teenagers. And so they would basically folding that board out and showing it on Jessica's stream to get her stream taken down. And also the other thing you cannot do on TikTok, you cannot be smoking a cigarette or anything like that. And they actually kind of surrounded her at one point and were intimidating her. Will had to show up and deal with these guys. And so Jessica's way of turning it on them and turning it to something like, you try to mess with me, I try to mess with you, is she edited it into this fantastic video of these of this guy and these guys trying to escape Scientology, and got millions of views. Millions of views. Jessica's video on TikTok got over 4 million views. And then she uploaded it to YouTube and it got over 1 million views. So I'm actually gonna, I'm gonna, I spoke to Jess about it and I'm like, hey, I want to do a video about this, but do you want me to be in on the joke or do you want me to expose the joke? Because I'm happy to do whatever you want me to do. I'm happy to do. And she's like, no, expose the shit out of it. I was like, all right, that's what I'll do. But of course, I get inundated with emails and messages about this guy that's escaping Scientology, and are you guys helping him? And I'm like, oh Lord, this is what happens when the joke is a bit too inside. But yeah, no, it's I love that Jess was able to do that, right? Because they're literally trying to screw with what she's doing, and she turns it around on them and turns it into a big thing in her favor. It's like that's what I love, you guys. Okay, Kathy O'Toole, Jenna's TikTok pulled my daughter into SPTV. Nice. And so you guys will notice that, you guys have probably noticed Jenna has not been uploading to YouTube as often right now. And it was one of the reasons is that she's just been focusing on being consistent on the TikTok. And, you know, the truth is you really want to be consistent on both, but you guys have seen how much trouble I've been having being consistent on both. And to be honest, I've got a lot more time to do these videos than Jenna does. You know, I don't spend my day having to take care of all three of my girls the way Jenna's got to take care of her kids. I'm not traveling as much. I don't travel the way, spend the time traveling the way Jenna spends traveling. It's harder for her to, she has less time to spend on all this stuff. I have technically all the time in the world to spend on all this stuff, and I'm still having trouble getting it done. And so that's so cool that your daughter started watching this stuff. That's just so awesome. Okay. CO Bill, you remind me, of course, Jamie, the famous Jamie will of course be at the protest at the end of September. By the way, so the other night, Jamie's been working. Jamie's he doesn't have a new job, but he has a new schedule at his existing job. So Jamie's been missing from the Friday night protest, but he comes out with us afterwards because he gets off work right around the time that the protest ends. He comes out with us afterwards. So 2 weeks ago, we all were at the bar with free Jamie shirts, and Jamie came in and we all had our free Jamie shirts on, and we gave him his free Jamie shirt. I have never seen Jamie so happy before. And anyway, it's a good, yeah, he loves the joke. Okay. Okay. So Anna, any day on your arrest, don't have a court date. I don't have a court date. I haven't pled guilty or not guilty. I'm told it takes at least a month before the state attorney's office even like reviews it and decides whether they're going to go forward or not go forward. And what I'm really hoping is I'm really hoping that they look at it and they're like, okay, ex-Scientologist, been protesting outside Scientology for a year and a half, every week, never had any situation, constantly being harassed by the Scientology workers. The first time anything happens, we're going to take this guy to trial. Yeah, no, thank you. We're not wasting time or money on this. That's my hope. So I basically have heard nothing. I've heard nothing. That's where it stands. Okay. Sharona says, I made Grok include you in how many members Scientology has after your TikTok ended. That is awesome. Fernando Garcia, did you see the video of the Sea Org member from LA escaping? Okay, same question. COBF, vertical live streams, Markabian plot that we must embrace grudgingly. Okay. Nanny, I miss game night. Those were great and a real hoot. I promise game night will eventually come back. Believe me, eventually. Buckled Up Buttercup. I like the idea of doing a short TikTok, but also a longer deep dive YouTube on the same topics. Oh, that's a really good idea. I like it. I'm gonna have to give that a shot 1 or 2 times and see if it's popular with the audience. That's a really good idea. Eat more pizza now. So good to see you. Scientology doesn't want discovery. So the thing is, and look, I'm take everything I say with a grain of salt because I don't know what I'm talking about because I grew up in a cult. Is discovery relevant discovery's not relevant in a criminal case, right? You don't have discovery in a criminal case. You have discovery in a lawsuit, in a civil lawsuit. You have voir dire, which is where the government has to turn over to you the evidence they have against you, but you don't have discovery. And Scientology is not actually a party to the lawsuit. There is an individual Sea Org member who is the alleged victim, but is the state that's really going after you, not even the victim and not even Scientology. That's how I understand it, guys. But yeah. Okay. Kathy O'Toole says, Jenna, my daughter called me and told me she found you on TikTok and that you were stirring it up. I told her I've been watching you for forever, and I put her onto your book. Absolutely fantastic. It's kind of adorable how much of TikTok seems to think Jenna is just speaking out for the first time and have no idea that she's got a book and has been speaking out all this time. And on the one hand, you're like, well, what does that mean? What that means is that is a brand spanking new audience. That means the hundreds of thousands and millions of people that Jenna is reaching on TikTok are people she has never reached before. Even though Jenna's book is I'm guessing the second, I was going to say the best-selling book ever written by an ex-Scientologist. I'm guessing Leah Remini probably sold more books. But if you don't count Leah Remini, then Jen has got the best-selling book written by an ex-Scientologist, by far. Okay. And yet the millions of people she's reaching on TikTok, she's reaching for the very first time. So let that sink in. That's why TikTok is such an exciting opportunity. That's one example of why TikTok is such an exciting opportunity. Okay. Kathy Beans, how does Scientology traffic kids and adults? So trafficking has a few different elements. There's trafficking for labor. And there is, so the trafficking that occurs mostly in Scientology is labor trafficking. It's bringing people in on religious visas. And instead of, you're not really doing religious work, you're basically cleaning hotel rooms, and you are brought in and you are paid a non-living wage. And you're basically now an indentured servant of this organization where you couldn't leave if you wanted to, because you're not even being paid enough money to cover the cost of a plane ticket if you chose to leave. And then you're prevented from going home to renew your visa because they're afraid that you'll never come back. So now you're here illegally, and you're not being paid a living wage, and you're working 110 hours a week, and you're not doing anything religious whatsoever. So this is labor trafficking. That labor trafficking also occurs in many cases to underage persons, so otherwise known as kids. So that is trafficking children. You then have in Scientology an element of sex trafficking, where sex abuse and child sex abuse is covered up, not reported to the police. Members are prevented from reporting to the police, prevented from speaking to the police, and the perpetrator is prevented from being brought to justice. And the organization benefits financially and reputationally from the cover-up of this type of abuse. It then allows the abuse to continue because it never gets addressed by the authorities, and then the organization then continues to profit off of that. Those are all legal elements of sex trafficking. You do not have to be operating a prostitution ring to be guilty of sex trafficking. So those elements there is how Scientology traffics adults and kids, and also sex traffics. Thank you so much. Buckled Up Buttercup, I thought your water war strategy was great, and the wall of books was wonderful. Thank you so much. Antics of a Mama Squirrel. Aaron, did you see that Manning 8 got assaulted by a Scientologist in New York City? I did not see that. Would you mind sending me a link and a timestamp if possible? That would be amazing. I definitely want to see that. Rose, Aaron, do you have any updates on any of the court cases going on? Yes. And that's one of the reasons I feel so bad, is because not only do I have the updates, I've got the files, I've got the summaries, I've got it all ready to go, and I still haven't done the damn videos. I've got 2 updates to do. One update is on the Jane Doe versus David Miscavige, Gavin Potter lawsuit. That's a big update. Another update is in the Danny Masterson appeal. I have an update in that as well. So yes, I'm going to try to squeeze that in tomorrow or the next day. Yes. Okay. Buckle Up Buttercup says, I would love to come, but 3,000 miles is a long trip and expensive. So I will just give a donation to the SPTV Foundation and pretend that I was there. That is very sweet of you, Buckled Up Buttercup. And we will all be live streaming, so you can all join us virtually as well, of course. Okay, DTX will be there. Do you mean Streets, LA? I doubt it. No. Will Jessica be there? I mean, I guess we should invite them. I honestly feel bad inviting them because I feel like I'm imposing on them to even think that they would get on a plane and fly 3,000 miles just to join us for one event. I mean, it's not like they can't do the exact same stuff right where they are without spending all that time and money on travel. But I guess all I'm trying to say is that's not like the big secret. So, I talk to Will and Jess all the time. I actually have never asked them to come. Maybe it's rude of me to not have asked. I honestly feel silly asking them. I don't know why. I'm going to have to think about this. I'd be like, hey, Will, you want to fly out for a protest? Like, I feel stupid even asking. But this might be one of those things where it's like, I feel almost rude to ask, but then maybe other people think it's rude not to ask. I don't know. I will ask them. I don't expect them to want to fly out here but I will ask them. Okay, Paula Candeloro. I sure do miss Natalie. I hope she is well. Natalie's doing very, very well. And of course, we talk all the time. The truth is, what this coming Saturday, this coming Saturday, me and Natalie will probably do a catch-up video together. And of course, Natalie will be here on the last weekend of September. Needless to say. Let's see. Theo Bilf says, someone can stand between the Georges and declare the creation of a George sandwich. Who's the meat? Who's the mayo? Who's the bread? The Georges are the bread. We need some mayo and some meat. Who's some cheese? We need like a layered George sandwich. Buckle up, Buttercup. Yes, you do have discovery in a criminal case. The prosecutor is required to turn over all the evidence that they have as part of the discovery process. Okay, I think we're saying the same thing with different words. But I guess what I'm saying is, though, is Scientology is not a part of that discovery. And technically, that's not... Again, I know sometimes I say these things emphatically with confidence, but I'm just stating my fully informed opinion. I don't call that discovery. I don't think that's called discovery. But I think we're saying the same thing, though. Inappropriate heifer, so good to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. I don't get on that much more, and I kind of miss it. That live was fun. Yeah. Susie, you can subpoena witnesses and any evidence that you could think would help your case, including the text messages between the Sea Org members. You know what? The truth is, these are questions from my lawyer. So I do finally have a lawyer. It feels good to have a lawyer. I've never had a lawyer before. And I guess that's the benefit of having a lawyer. Oh, CO Bill here, lawyer here. There is discovery in a criminal case, but it's different. Okay, good. All right, good to know. Sharona Sarowin, Jenna's book needs to be playing in all of those youngins' ears. Yes, indeed. Rexy, you can stream simultaneously to YouTube and TikTok from 2 separate devices. That way your live on YouTube will stay up, plus you're reaching both audiences. Yes, not to nitpick, but I'm going to nitpick. Technically, you're not like, if you have to use 2 separate devices, you're not really streaming. Like that's the problem. I don't even have 2 phones, much less something to hold 2 phones. And I know I should. Like, why don't I have that? Inertia is the answer, guys. I struggle with inertia. What I really want to do is figure out how to set it up to stream from my phone through StreamYard through Chrome and simultaneously stream to YouTube and TikTok. It is supposed to be possible. But Cheryl tried it last week and she didn't figure it out. And anyway, to be continued, guys. We'll figure it out. Canned peaches are good, says my grown kids found some bald guy in a black shirt talking about Scientology and had to call me to come to watch. I told them that I'd been watching the bald guy since he used to sit on that low couch. I never sat on the couch. I was sitting on a chair in front of the couch, and people wondered why I had a couch directly behind me. But yes, thank you, canned peaches are good. Thank you for telling them that you've been watching me since the good old days. That's fantastic. Susie says, doesn't Scientology take the passports away from the children that they traffic? Well, they certainly used to, Susie. Many of the more recent Sea Org escapees have said that they actually stopped that because it was illegal. So, but you know how it works in the Sea Org. They'll implement a change to cover their butts, and then they'll put the change back. They'll revert back to the previous thing that they had changed, that kind of stuff. You can't have people just walking around with their passports able to go willy-nilly to the airport and escape, assuming they can afford a plane ticket. But yes, they certainly used to hold the passports, and it's unclear whether they actually still do that right now. And I only say it's unclear because the people who've left most recently said they're not doing that anymore, but we assume there's always going to be violations of that here and there. Cheryl says, yes, let's get Streets and Jessica to join us. Absolutely. Okay, Marilyn says Jerry can be in the middle. So it's a Jerry George sandwich. Okay, great. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Since we're just BSing around, I wanted to tell you guys about well, since I brought you guys along with my weight loss journey leading up to Hawaii, I figured, might as well bring you along on my own journey. It does have a funny Jamie story in it, right? Okay, so I was trying to lose weight to get in good shape for Hawaii. That was reasonably successful. But the whole point was to be able to go to Hawaii and then pig out and gain all the weight back, which mission accomplished. And then I come back to Clearwater and I'm just used to eating all that good stuff and all that. So then what happened the other week is, and it was probably one of the weeks when Jamie skipped the protest, but it worked, but then came out with us afterwards. And so we were all at the bar. And as we were leaving the bar, this is a funny story, you guys, and you'll know it's funny because I told you it's funny. As we were leaving the bar, we're all leaving at the same time. Jamie's walking behind me and he's like, "Oh, Aaron, did you gain back all of the weight that you lost before Hawaii?" And I was like, Jesus, God, Jamie. And then he's like, "No, I'm genuinely curious." And I go, "Oh, okay. Jamie, are you autistic?" And he's like, "What? I don't think so." And I'm like, "I'm just genuinely curious, Jamie. Everyone's always wondering." So now we guys, we have determined Jamie, at least according to Jamie, is not autistic. So you guys can stop giving me such a hard time about giving him a hard time. Okay. He does not identify as an autistic person. Okay. Now I understand he's just really annoying. Okay. I know I'm going to get canceled for that, but it was a funny joke and you guys know it. And you guys know you laughed a little bit. Okay. All right. So Jamie made it clear that I look very fat, especially from behind. Okay. All right. So, okay. This is the intro into telling you about my huge success the last couple of weeks with my intermittent fasting. I'm just, okay. I feel like talking about intermittent fasting is one of the lamest things to talk about. But the only reason I'm excited to tell you about what I'm doing is because of the new hack that my friend recommended to me that my ADHD brain has seized on. I don't know if you guys know this, but I like to time everything. I'm setting timers and stopwatches for everything. Okay. If I take Advil, I set a 45-minute timer because I know Advil works for me in 45 minutes. And it's not good enough for me just to know that Advil works in 45 minutes. I've got to set a timer so that when the timer goes off, I can ask myself, did the Advil work? And then I go, yes, it did. And I feel good that I know that it worked. Or when I fall asleep at night, as I'm falling asleep, I set the stopwatch on my phone so that when I wake up, I don't have to think about or calculate roughly how much sleep I got. Okay. I put my phone on on sleep mode. I put on the rain sounds video on YouTube so I can fall asleep to the sound of rain, and I start my stopwatch. Okay. I like to time everything. All right. So here's the hack for intermittent fasting. Because up until now, anytime I've ever even tried intermittent fasting, it's always been try not to eat past this time o'clock, right? Oh, let's see. Someone said me something. Okay. Try not to eat past, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever it is. The problem with setting hard rules like that is once you break them, you feel like you fell off the wagon. And once you fall off the wagon, what's there to lose? You fall off the wagon. Why fall off the wagon just a little bit? If you're going to fall off the wagon a little bit, you might as well make it worth it and fall off the wagon a lot of bit. Okay. So here's the hack. Whenever I have what I think is my last meal, what I intend to be my last meal of the day, I just set a timer for 16 hours. And if I get hungry an hour or two later, I basically have a choice to make. It's not breaking a rule. If I eat later, I just have to restart my timer. It's not even breaking a rule if I wake up in the middle of the night and have a snack. But if I'm going to do that, I got to reset my timer. And I respect the hell out of that timer. And so, it sounds so stupid, guys, but that's been the hack. Is like it removes the aspect of failure. It removes the aspect of failure. There's no failure. All you're going to do is restart the clock, restart the timer. Now, the real way to fail would be to set the timer and then wake up the next morning and not respect the timer. But I can discipline myself on that. because I can discipline myself when it comes to the timer. I can't discipline myself when it comes to don't eat after 7 p.m., but I can discipline myself on that timer. And it's been unbelievably successful, guys. So I'm sleeping better. My energy is better. The waistline is better. And you know, successfully being successful in a fitness, exercise, diet routine is a little addicting in its own right. When you start to see the success, when you start to feel better, when your pants start to fit better, when the scales, that number goes down every morning, that's addicting. And all I'm trying to do, you know what I've done? Instead of even trying to set myself a weight loss goal, this is for the end of September. I'm doing this for the end of September. So I've only got like, you know, a month or so left. Instead of setting myself a weight loss goal, which is what I did last time, I'm just setting myself a consistency target. I'm going to respect the timer. Oh, and by the way, here's the other thing that I love about this. For the hours of the day that I eat, I can eat whatever the hell I want. Now, do I eat a whole pizza? Do I eat a bunch of sugar? Do I eat a bunch of donuts? No, because that would be counterproductive to my goal. But I have no caloric limits. It's just really how much food can I comfortably stuff into my body in that window? End of story. End of story. And I have been somewhat successful in not eating after 6 p.m. And it's funny because now the 6 p.m., the only reason I end up settling on 6 p.m. is because I'm going, okay, what time in the morning do I really want to be able to start putting food in my mouth though? Because that's what I care about most. I'm able to have a lot of discipline on the 16-hour timer, but what's a good time of the morning when I've already been up for a little while, I've already had a bunch of coffee, maybe I've already gone to the gym, maybe I've already jumped in the pool, and I'm ready to be like, okay, I'm ready for some actual food. And that for me is what I'm using as my guideline for when I should stop eating. It's really, what do I want my morning experience to be like? Anyway, guys, it's been, I've lost like at least 6 pounds so far. And that's like 6 pounds from a real weight, meaning I didn't like juice myself up and stuff myself full of pizza and pasta and sugar and beer so that I could wake up at a really high weight and have an easy target. No, that's like 6 pounds down from a very reasonable goal. But again, I'm not even focusing on the weight. I'm focusing on how I feel, and I'm focusing on consistency, and I'm focusing on respecting that timer and eating whatever the hell that I want for the 6 hours a day that I choose to eat, whether it's beer, pasta. But again, like maybe have like half a beer and pour the rest away. Or usually it's just no beer. But my point is, I don't even have rules about it. And that's what makes it sustainable for me, because I'm not actually depriving myself of anything that I want. I can eat whatever I want, and I can eat it whenever I want, as long as I restart that timer and then respect the timer. Respect the timer. Okay, let's see what else. I'll get some a handful of starred comments here, and then we'll wrap this up because this was just to BS around with you guys. Okay, Hef, does anyone else miss the battery on the lamps going out? Oh, it was classic Aaron and always made me laugh. Oh yeah, you're talking about these bad boys. See, I switched them from battery to plug-in, and that's why they never go out. Yes, the good old days. This Barbie is bored. Hey, have you heard about the Ethan Klein H3 lawsuit? I thought you'd like the part about him subpoenaing Reddit and Discord mods and unmasking them. I haven't heard anything about this. I haven't watched Ethan. I haven't seen anything. I guess YouTube really stopped. I mean, I used to even casually run into a lot of stuff about Ethan because he's always involved in some sort of drama. But honestly, I haven't had a YouTube about Ethan or H3 served up to me for months. I'm sure now that I have said that out loud, the voice detection algorithms in all of the apps that are constantly listening to me will now start serving me up Ethan Klein videos, because I'd actually love to see what he's up to these days. But yeah, that would be really interesting, right? I need to unmask some Reddit mods. Truthfully, I can't even be bothered to care about anything that happens in those drama quarters these days. Constance June, all the shorts between the crew in Hawaii were so much fun. Yeah. C.O. Belf, you were just jealous that Jamie is the object of John Travolta's desires. Yes, big time. Happy, blessed, and loved. If you're going to follow up, if you're going to follow up the wagon, you need to fall all the way. Oh, see, if you're going to fall off the wagon, you need to fall all the way off and trip on a big, juicy cheeseburger. Well, actually, that's one of my favorite things to eat. Of course, I got the big Costco hamburgers, and I've got like an air fryer, and I can cook 2 hamburgers in the air fryer at the same time. It takes me 14 minutes flat, and then I throw some cheese on it, double decker. And instead of eating bread, because even in my normal life, I just tend not to eat bread. I don't even buy bread. It's not even like if I had bread in the house, I would do nothing but eat all the bread. So I don't even keep bread in the house unless people are coming over. I take the hamburgers, double decker, and here's what I do. You guys know I love lettuce. I love romaine lettuce. So I will actually take a head of romaine lettuce and I'll align the leaves like 4-leaf clover with the leafy part in the middle overlapping. And I put the burgers right in the middle and I fold over all of the pieces of lettuce. And I basically have hamburgers, but instead of a bun, it's just wrapped in romaine lettuce. So that way I'm having my hamburger, I'm having my cheese, and I'm having a salad as well. And it's honestly one of my favorite things to eat. So between eating Costco rotisserie chickens, and I'll even eat, see, on a chicken, I prefer the dark meat. I mean, I will eat the white meat, but I prefer the dark meat. And since the chicken's only $5, I can just eat the dark meat and throw the rest away and not feel bad about it. I'm only wasting $2. Okay, so between Costco rotisserie chickens and Costco hamburgers, I could eat them all day, every day, and I would be perfectly happy. You guys know I'm okay wearing the same thing every day. I'm okay eating the same thing every day. And so that's why just adding this intermittent fasting timer thing has just been the last little trick that I needed to give myself the structure and the accountability that I needed and that I could sustain to make this journey easy and fun. So I'll keep you guys updated on how it's going. Okay, Sarasota Jerry. So good to see you, Jerry. He says, but if you eat more, then the handcuffs will no longer fit. Oh, that's okay. Northern Girl, I'm pretty sure that diet won't work for most post-menopausal women. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I'm not one of those. I'll take your word for it, though. All right, guys. This has been fun to hang out and catch up. Who knows? Maybe we'll be doing a lot more of these because I just feel so bad that I've been really lazy on the YouTube front. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Is this something I should use? George, this thing you sent me, is it something for this video now or for? Okay, good. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I'll see you guys soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe